Hey guys, welcome back to the All-Star Boxing Podcast. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment, share it out there. We had the Issac Hardman, the Headsplitter. It was actually a really cool chat. And we went through his journey from his MMA background to his fight life now as a professional boxer. His personal life at home as well. New baby born, Evander, and wife Jiv. So it was actually a really cool chat. And we all know Isac's a larger-than-life character, and he displayed it on the podcast too. So I'm excited to really show you guys this one. And let's do this.
When I hit these guys, they don't keep coming. That's it. I take the will from these people. Pressure makes diamonds, and I always rise to the occasion.
Let's make some noise for Issac The Headsplitter Hardman! Oh, that is massive!
Everyone knows me as the head splitter and getting in people's faces, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to steamroll the bloke that's in front of me, and that's the end of the story. Sayonara to old mate.
So Issac, man, I appreciate you coming in. So I know you're a busy man. You're newlywed and a beautiful baby, Evander.
Yep, Evander Blair. Two first names.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Now, Evander Blair. Blair is trainer's name.
Yeah.
What's the story with that?
Man, he's just the man that's moulded me to who I am. Along with my mum. Like, my mum will get mad. Along with my dad too, man. Like, I knew my dad until I was 12, 13. But I didn't know him as a man, I knew him as a boy. Every boy looks up to their dad. Fuck dad, have a run race with dad, play footy with dad, which was cool. But I didn't know dad as an adult. I've grown to know Blair being a man, and he's been my, mentor and like role model to be the man. Every kid, they look up to their dad. Oh, that's the man I want to be, So Blair's that person for me. Mum, I am who I am a lot because my mum, she struggled and hustled all the way through with 3 kids under 3 at one age, and probably, I don't know if my dad was around too much when they ended up getting divorced. So was he a good man? I'm not too sure, but I love my dad. So
he's not in the picture anymore?
No, well, he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, so he passed away when I was 12. So that's why I didn't have that male role model and figure, that manly figure in my life. And yeah, Mum always did everything. We never went without. We struggled, but moving on to Blair, I met him. It was 2015. I walked into his gym to do strength and conditioning. It was 2015. That was graduated 2012. So that's 13, 14, 15. So 17, 18, 19. Just turned 19. And I was training MMA at the time down at his Adrian Pang's gym, which was integrated, and they always were best mates. And that was just a strength gym that integrated guys went to. Walked in their door strength program, and I never sort of really left. And then I used to live out Caboolture, and I used to be on Oz study because I was doing my certificate course. I got a little $180 a fortnight for like money. That's all I had, and I'd put fuel in the car, but I didn't have enough money to fuel to go to Chermside, back to Caboolture, and then back out to Integrate at Stafford in the afternoon, and then back to Caboolture. That's 4 trips a day. So I'd just leave in the morning, go train at Blair's gym, sleep in my car, and then go to Integrated, and then back home at night. So it was a big day. But I just hang around Blair's gym and sort of just try to leech off him. And he ended up giving me a job one afternoon. He said, "Mate, do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah, yep." And then he walked in, I did my first class with him, and then I had a job ever since. So I've been there now. This will be going on 9 years since being there, and 8 years, going on 9 years next year, being there with Blair. And so when my baby come, it's I really like the name Evander. We just sort of, me and Jiv were going through names. Evander was cool, it's unique. And it was going to be that, whether it was a boy or a girl, we didn't know until she was born. And then,
nice. You didn't want to know?
No, I didn't want to know because that's the only really genuine surprise you get this day and age. Everything, news moves so fast,
Nice.
You can't even keep under wraps if you got a fight coming up. You're not meant to say you got a fight coming up. You can't keep anything under wraps. One genuine thing you can fully get a surprise about is not knowing the birth of your child. So
so you had the name ready
to fight, whether it's going to be a boy,
okay.
strong name for a boy, unique, strong name for a girl.
Nice.
And then The deal was it was just going to be Evander and then like Blair, middle name, and then she's going to share me and my wife's last name because my wife kept her last name because she's her own woman. She's established as a Latu, and it's a big thing in her culture to give away her name and a woman to leave the family. So she kept her last name, and so Evander. And then when she was born, whatever, long story short, I had to go do the papers because Jiv was getting fixed up after. And what's her name? I said Evander Blair, and that's her first name. So I slid it in there because it's meant to be a middle name. I said, it's Evander Blair. So that's her first name, no middle name. Latu Hardman's her last name. Nice. So got that one over the line, and that's what it is, man.
Wow. How old is she now?
10 months, just turned 10 months yesterday. So,
do you feel life is completely different before baby, after baby?
Yeah, man, this is a weird one because everyone, like, beforehand, like, you've got kids?
Stepkids.
Stepkids, yeah, okay, yep. So, like, man, people would say, man, your life completely changes. Or it's hard and this and that. And you'd say, like, before being a parent, it's like, yeah, I bet it is, but fuck, I could do it. Or, yeah, it won't change that much, but it definitely does change your life for sure. It hasn't flipped my world upside down. Like, I still get to do my shit. And I just got the joy of being a dad now, but it definitely does change. And other people, like I spoke to Jeff Horn years ago, he's like, don't have kids until after boxing because it makes you soft. And I get that maybe for some people, but for me, it's just lit a fire under me even more. And I want even more out of this sport, just more motivation. But man, the best thing I've ever done is become a dad. Like,
nice.
Second to being a husband, I love being a husband. But a father, it's something, man. Like,
wow.
I had the first, I get, like, I'll probably cry this podcast, talking about Blair and my daughter and stuff like that. And I'm an emotional dude, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck if cameras are on and I cry.
I like it.
I'm real. But today was, like, my first daddy-daughter day, like, with Jiv.
I saw that. You went to markets.
Markets, got the city cat, went, just cruised about. Like, I've had, like, days where it's, like, 2 hours, 3 hours with her. And it's not... It's just because me and Jiv are always together, but she had to go do her hair and stuff like that. So I got the
first moment.
Like full day, like packed the bag up, got the formula ready, the nappies, fucking full dad, alpha dad mode. And had a whole day with her. Just dropped her back and then shot straight over here. So man, being a dad's something, eh? Wow. It really is.
New purpose.
Yeah, man, new purpose, new reason why. Daughter or not, I'd still feel like I want boxing just as much as I did before a daughter, but just that extra fuel, man, it gives me chills thinking about providing for her, and I just man, I don't want to like going to school and people saying your dad got beaten up, so I want to just fucking floor everyone from here on out because I don't want no one saying that to my daughter.
I like that, like you're full of respect everybody, trainers, you give credit to who's in your circle, sponsors, trainers, family even, and when push comes to shove, you're on the front line.
For sure, man.
Line.
Yeah, fuck, man. Like, I feel like I said before off camera, I hate getting, pissed on and getting told it's raining, just tell me what it is, and I'm a straight up type of a guy, and that's, honesty is the best policy, and I learned that from Blair, honesty is the best policy, there's no fucking lying, just gets you in trouble, so if I walk around and say I like you, and then to old mate I say, he's a fuckwit, and then it gets back to you, and then I look like the dickhead. So just be honest. Yeah, like that's right. Yeah. So don't lie to me, and I won't lie to you, and let's just get on with it. Be real. I think that's what's missing this day and age is like some fucking real honest reals. There's real people out there. There needs to be more of it. And
it doesn't necessarily mean you being an asshole.
No, no. And some people can probably interpret it as that, but have a conversation with me, and I bet that would change. I know some people would think I'm a cocky wanker, fuck with this, that, the other, but just have a conversation with me, and I bet it'll change because I'm a real person, and I fully believe that, and I feel like I'm a good person, at the end of the day. What I stand for is good things. Yeah, man, just have a conversation with me. I bet your tune will change.
Yeah, nice. And so home life, business life, fight life, two different kind of personas. Like when you're in there, do you feel, and this is why I love doing this podcast, because me having that fight life and understanding what it feels like to be in there.
Yeah.
And it's almost, for me, my experience, like something kind of takes over, and that's why I have a fight name, and I'm sure why you're the head splitter.
Yeah. That alter ego.
Yeah, alter ego takes over.
Yep.
And when people like Jeff Horn can say, it softened you, be careful, but they're two different people.
Yep. Yep.
You turn it on when you need to turn it
Yeah,
on.
yeah, for sure. And this is probably one thing I'll be honest, I've struggled with and I don't feel like I've struggled with it, but my coach Blair has seen me struggle with it. You know, like there was times where I was sparring, and then Jib's now doing some jiu-jitsu, so she would drop Evander off at me, and then but there'd be like a bit of a crossover time between my training session, and then I'll be like a bit distracted with my daughter there. So one thing I've come up with now is like locking the door on that when I'm in the gym, because I love being a dad. You know, I'm a big softie at heart, so like Blair said to me, mate, this is what it's got to be like. And there was times, you know, the Rowan fight where like I was too comfortable. I was up at 76. You know, didn't have to cut weight. I was too comfortable. I had my wife there with my baby 2 days before, and I was hanging out in her room. Was too comfortable. Went out to a nice restaurant for dinner with people. It was like before the fight, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And Blair pointed that out to me after. We can't be comfortable. This is like this sport you can get hurt doing. So like this person across the other side of the ring is now taking food out of your daughter's mouth, or you know, if you lose, you might not be able to send her to the good school you want to send her to. So we got to switch on, and so I've had to shut the door on that when I'm in the gym. But just because I'm an affectionate, you know, a loving husband and a dad, and I want to be like that, and no man can hold his daughter and then have to put her down and go punch someone's head, and it just doesn't happen, like, you know. So I got to lock the door on that when I'm in training camp. We've got some new rules now with Blair, and even my wife and Blair had a meeting, like conversation with 2-3 hours. That's like everyone's on the same sort of
wavelength.
Yeah, that's right. So they had a meeting, talked about this X, Y, and Z has got to happen. So it's all a big team, man. So, but yeah, it is a hard thing, you know, boxing life, family life. And that's one thing I say, and you know, locking the door on it. After I finish with the gym, I'll race home and be a dad and husband. As soon as I leave, I'm a fighter.
Nice. Well, it's almost like 100%.
Yeah, that's it.
You get to really give it your all.
And you can't like have one foot in here and then one foot in there, or even a toe in that one. You know, when I'm being a fighter, I can't have a toe in this one and be a dad. You know, I've got to fully do this, otherwise I'm distracted. And I get this, I'm easily distracted. You know, I've got to have a one-track mind. If I'm doing this, I can't be thinking about doing this. You know, I wanted to do a podcast too, but fuck, I wouldn't be able to do it if I was I need 100% focus on training. I can't be going, oh fuck, this podcast I got to do on Saturday. It doesn't happen for me. That's just they're my carry. I can't say that word. They're my fucking ways I work. Yeah.
And this is the thing, like, because this is like, you know, episode 26. So me to really juggle with the podcast with that fight life, it was hard, you know.
Yeah.
So I could see where when you want to be successful, but it's like, how do you juggle and put your attention and energy in all these different things, areas? So, you know, with my last fight with No Limit there, that could be the last fight, you know. So
hope not.
That's where all the focus goes, and I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yeah, man.
After that,
because I watched that, and what we spoke off camera, there was a bit of this and that there before watching, and I had to. I'm like, mate, you fucking.
What did you as a warrior? Like, what did you?
Yeah, I just was I didn't know you before this. I hadn't shaken your hand. I knew you through the boxing circle, but I was proud of the way you fought. You know, I thought you were winning against a guy that they bigged up and you put him down. They did you dirty a little bit with the mouthpiece and shit like that. And then I thought you'll win the fight, and then the ref stopping it early or whatever. I just thought it was a fucking shit show go for you, and you would have, like, that was your thing, you know, like you being a teammate of Liam, and Liam's gone all the way and had so many good things happen to him, and I feel like you're that one that's like, fucking had to just grind all the way. And like now talking to you off camera before, like almost like I don't know, it's not an inside, don't take it the wrong way, or if you're like the stepbrother, like fuck, you can just do this, but you've had to work so fucking hard for where you got yourself, and it was I reckon a shit way to finish, like getting done dirty with the mouthpiece, the stoppage and stuff. You're winning. It was like it's what if, you know. So I respected you for that fight and that effort, you know. I watching that was a fucking great performance, man. So I hope it's not your last crack.
No, I appreciate that, and if anyone could talk about it, it had to be you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Again, you're a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Honesty, you know. So look, I love the sport. I love boxing. That's why I'm doing this. You know, I get to hear the other stories of other athletes in the sport. Fight life is so hard, man.
It's
I've been in this game 15 years, you know, and it's a hard game. And like when it's talent against talent, that's a challenge. But when it's talent against machine, it's
and machine
harder.
being big sponsors and like this and that and better facilities than you got, you know, like that's all a part of it too. I've seen like, fuck, wouldn't it be good to be the Tim Zoo and have everything you ever wanted or could fucking fly away to training camp, whenever you want to have. He's got a wallet, and he's gotten there because he can fight, but there's a lot of sponsors backing that shit. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to Vegas for 6 weeks, get all the sparring, all the massage and stuff? But blue-collar guys like us doesn't always come around until you get that one big fight that pops off and you got some money in your bank, you can do that. So it can be a tough, unforgiving sport, for sure.
That's the word, unforgiving.
Yeah.
And, so... Again, I love boxing, but it's a love-hate relationship sometimes.
I only just caught up with someone today, one of my sponsors, and I said to him, I love boxing and what it provides for me, but boxing doesn't love me. And it really doesn't. He'll fucking forget about us the day we stop putting the gloves on. Even now, no one's talking about me, and I'm not even stopped fighting. It's you're cool for 2 days when you fight, and that's it. Boxing doesn't love us.
I see it now, like the next generation of amateurs here.
Yep.
When me and Liam were amateurs back in the day, we were like good, but I see these kids and they're just evolved. Yep. And it's like the next batch is ready to take over. It's just the sporting life.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat,
rinse and repeat.
You can be a great one day and then the next,
so,
who are you?
Make the most of this life while you're in it. Extract what you can because boxing doesn't
snatch
care.
what you can because it won't give it to you. You got to snatch it. And that's one thing I've shifted my mindset's like, I'm going to take this motherfucker for everything I can, snatch it because it ain't giving it to me. I got to take it.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool, man. And I've always enjoyed your fights even, like the head splitter, your and I don't really want to, and this is where I've got to be sensitive with this podcast because, I don't really want to show people getting pummeled, and you pummeled a lot of people. And I've been on both ends of it.
Yeah, so have I.
I've been on both ends.
Yep.
So it actually. How did you feel with your first loss in the boxing game?
Yeah, it was that was my first professional loss I had my first pro MMA fight in 2015. So.
And that was against well-known Michael Giraffe.
Yeah, yep. So 7 years I went undefeated, and this was like going through all like being undefeated. I remember like a little bit of a story when I had my first amateur MMA fight. I won that unanimous decision. Then like 2 weeks later I had like kickboxing fight, Muay Thai, and I won that. So I was a rock star. I felt like a rock star. I was 19 years old, and then I got a fight opportunity to go fight in Mackay. Like, yeah, I'll take it. I was at a new gym that just opened. I was the only fighter there, so I felt like a fucking rock star. Won this fight, and I got TKO'd in the third round just out of complete being exhausted. He was just on top of me, big Tongan boy, and he was just like hammer-fisted me. And I couldn't get him off me, and he stopped. Wasn't unconscious or anything. Just like a amateur fight, he stopped it, and I fled and ran away to Thailand for a month. And I've just been doing some journaling lately, and I went back to that moment. And I took off because I had this image like I was a fighter and I lost, and I couldn't face the music. So I mastered I'm going to go get better. But I ran away for a month, in Thailand, and hated the whole fucking month over there. It was shit, so I was running away. So I come back and then won everything since. Went pro, won nine professional MMA fights. In the midst of that, I had my first 3 professional boxing fights. Didn't care if I won or lost in boxing. It was just a payday. And I happened to win them. And then I fully put all those eggs in that basket 2019 and signed a deal. And went through 1 to 11. I was undefeated. So it's been 7 years since I took an L. And everyone in my life from that point had known me as a winner. Everyone in the gym, all my PT clients know me. Isaac's a winner. Every time he fights, he wins. It got to a point where like, oh, you got to fight? Oh, yeah. But I'll see you on Monday. You're going to be a winner. Blair only ever knew me as a winner. Like my now wife, Javille, I used to train her. She came in the gym 2017. I wasn't dating her or anything, but she was just a PT client. She only ever knew me as a winner, and now she was my fiance. And I was so terrified of becoming a loser. Would I run and flee again? And I sort of anchored my my being to being this undefeated fighter. And then when I lost, I'm like, fuck, am I going to run away? And then I sat there the next day and I thought, fuck, if the worst thing in my life happened is losing a boxing match, I'm living a good life. So come home and had a gin, and I thought, fuck, is this it? Is this what everyone's fucking worried about losing? Man, people are so terrified of losing, and because they anchor their personality and their identity to being a boxer or undefeated. And I did, and then,
of course.
I figured out that's no way to live, because boxing's going to finish one day, and then if I've anchored my identity to being a boxer and it's over, then who am I? I'll probably be a depressed piece of shit. So I try and anchor that to being a good person, real person, a good dad, good husband. And that's what the difference is, because fuck, man, like, losing sucks. I don't like losing. If I could not lose ever, I would take that pill and not lose. But it's just a way the sport goes. So you're going to lose if you're fighting the right guys. If you're not, I'm starting to look at people with a 0 next to their record and start thinking, fuck, who have you fought? Because it's not real sometimes, So, man, losing's not that bad. But it does suck, but it's not the be-all and end-all, so.
And this is the thing, like, where you're heading, because you said you were ranked number 22 on BoxRec. The ladder only gets harder and harder.
That's right.
So, we can have, an undefeated record and have 20 fights undefeated, but it's like, if there's no bodies, then what has it really done to our character?
Exactly, yep.
Our skill sets,
yep.
All of that. So the losses along the way against, like, amazing champions,
yep.
It's not really a takeaway of yourself.
That's right. And, like, I think those people that get, like, tossed fucking pancakes and people that can't fight, it's just building up a false sense of who they are and who they think they are, and because when that day comes, we're in that position where they got their shot against someone that's fucking proper good and got a pulse and fighting, and they do happen to take a loss. If they do, there's a big crash back to the earth, and it's a big reality shock, and that could undo someone. That's probably that could really undo someone because they've been told how good they fucking are. They've anchored their identity being
yes man around them.
That's right, man. So it's losing sucks, but it's not the end of the fucking world. It's definitely not the end of your career, and that's one thing I think boxing needs to change and follow suit with the MMA world. Is like, man, Donald Cerrone, for instance, he's got like a 50-50 MMA record, UFC record, and he was headlining shows with 9 losses on his record. Man, in what world would that ever happen in a boxing world? Never, ever. Like, if you've got 2-3 losses, they go, psh, which is shit, because fucking that's just crap. That's not the way it should be.
Yep. And it's almost like the business side is taking over the sport.
Exactly. Yeah, man, that's another thing. This boxing game is a business first, 110%, and then it becomes a talent thing or a skill thing. But first, you sell tickets. You got to know next to your name you're making money for people. You're getting the one, and then it's a talent thing after. Yeah. It's a real shame.
This is what's giving you that noise, because you're a talker. I love it.
Yeah,
you don't care.
Nah, fuck that.
You say it straight,
Yeah, like I used to get in trouble all the time with Dean when I was linked up with him. And like, don't say this, don't say that. You can't do this. Fuck you. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. So be real,
How many fights were you in before you joined DNL, Dean Lonergan?
3. So he was at my third fight. I fought on the Gallen and Hopewadi card. Tim Tszyu fought that Dontel Vassell guy, that UK guy. And I was on that, knocked him out in the first round at light heavyweight. And Dean was there because I think they were all trying to fight over Tim Tszyu at the time.
Okay.
And he contacted me after. I was like, oh, you want to have a meeting? And then I had my 4th fight just at Eastside Boxing on Angelo DiCarlo's show. And then, Dean sat with me and had a meeting with me and Blair and put some numbers down and a contract got presented. I thought, fuck yeah. Nice. I was getting $5,000 at the time on my first fight. And, in MMA, I was getting $1,200. I thought, fuck yeah, I want to do something sick, but I want to also get paid. So it was a pretty easy fucking answer for me,
Nice. So, so those that know you of today in the boxing world, we didn't know that you were of the MMA background.
Yeah.
So I fished for some of your footage. I want to bring some of that up.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So
good old days.
And how did you?
AFC. I was a young buck here. Look at that.
How old? 19.
19. Yeah, and full of fucking energy there. Brash, but that's the good old times. AFC.
So
still good now.
Just for everyone to see at home.
I've got a fucking good highlight reel. Don't you worry about that.
This was all in Australia?
That was China, that one.
Wow,
that was China, I fought in China for my first Australian title. Wow. But everything else was Australia, That was Melbourne, that one, AFC. He's the next best big thing, Khan Offlin. I smashed him to pieces. My 4th fight in that one. I wasn't meant to win that. That's Kieran Joblin, the best Anzac at the time.
Man.
I smashed him to pieces as well. Sean Lee's a black belt, sunk him in 1 round. Yeah, it was a good time. I was heaps more harnessed than like a bit more of a leash on. I wasn't as vocal in my MMA career.
Okay.
But another one, Pumia Campbell, put him down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, how does it feel with those gloves? Because that's...
They're not much to them. They're just enough not to take the skin off your hands. There's Tyson Pedro. He was in my corner for that night. He's now in the UFC.
Wow.
Was
there a pathway for you to go to the UFC in that?
Back then, like MMA was like, it was popular, and there's the pathway. You just had to be undefeated. There was a bit of a criteria apparently back then. You had to have an international opponent on your record.
Wow.
You had to have more than 6 fights. This was all pre like COVID and stuff like that, 2017. And I was well on my way. And the story goes where I sort of got into boxing was I blew out my ACL playing touch footy like 2.5 weeks before I was going to defend my XFC title.
Wow, okay.
Against a guy, his name's BJ Blair, trains at City Kickboxing with all those guys.
Yeah, Adesanya.
Yeah. I was going to fight him, and then I went down to play touch, and I had boots out. It was Monday. But I was like, whose boots are these? And I'm like, they're mine. I'm just going to go play touch with the net. It was one of my clients. And he's like, don't be a fucking idiot. Don't do that. And I'm like, it's touch footy. I played rugby league my whole life. I'm not going to get hurt. First touch, grabbed the ball. In my head, I had this fat dude in front of me. I'm going straight around you, Benji Marshall step. I'm going to score in the corner and blew my ACL. And then that was that. And it was that was probably a big moment for me because my whole world come crashing down on me because we had a guy in the gym called Reese, and he was Alex Volkanovski's manager at the time.
Yep.
And he said, mate, you just have this fight, win, and we'll get you to the UFC. I thought, fucking sweet, I was going to be 10-0. I had to beat that guy, obviously. I was like at 19, my dream was since being 14, 15, watching the DVDs to be in the UFC. And I had this blown ACL. I would be out for 10 months, and I was shell shocked. I'm not a depressed type of person. I can't relate to that really. But if I was ever depressed or anything, it was for that short time where I was like bedridden for a week with my knee up.
Everything was taken away from you.
Everything just pulled out from underneath me, and I was devastated. And then that's why I sort of like. The whole plan was to go back to the UFC because we had like my coach at the time, Adrian. He had emails from Sean Shelby. He's a matchmaker. Said, "Can Isaac make 70 kilos for this date?" Which happened to be the week of when I fought Pola Petty on the Gallon Hopewadi card.
Okay,
and I'd already committed to that boxing fight, and this is when the UFC was coming to Perth or something like that. Can Isaac make 70 kilos on like 2 weeks' notice? I'm like, no, I've already committed to the boxing fight. They were asking if I wanted to fight in the UFC, Wow. And I'm like, fuck, no, I can't do that. And my whole idea behind it was like, I don't want to cut heaps of weight in 70 kilos back then, be in the UFC, and then get beaten, taken down, wrestled, and then be out and, kicked to the curb straight away. I wanted to have this boxing fight, blow the cobwebs out after my 9-month layoff with my ACL, and then I'll go back to MMA, and they just never eventuated. But, MMA, they were wild old days,
Wow.
9-0.
What was your training like for MMA back then?
Still like
week?
3 days. So that was the thing, like 3 days at integrated, 2 strength and conditioning at Nitro, a boxing session, but majority was that integrated grappling, shoot boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, stuff like that. So I always hated grappling and like jiu-jitsu. Loved to wrestle because it's like a man's sport. I didn't like being on the ground tangled up. And just boxing, like a lot of my MMA career, I got through with my boxing, Good takedown defense because really MMA guys don't have a good stand-up, good boxing, good kickboxing and stuff like that, but they don't have a good boxing range, I don't feel. And if you got good takedown defense and you're like a competent blue belt, you can get through and bash most. Like 4 of those guys on my MMA record are black belts, They couldn't take me down because I had good boxing range and distance control and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I was well on my way, but it's whatever, man. Maybe I dip the toe back in after, on my way out, cash out on a UFC fight, see what happens.
What was it like defending those small little gloves?
That's the thing. It's a different range. Like
It's different.
never, like you don't sit in the pocket and box with like MMA gloves on because it's too little. The better
They'll come around and all
yeah,
of it.
and like slip through. Like it's like this with a little bit of extra on there. So like you don't got a chance to sit in the pocket or in a mid range like you do in boxing and touch and move. And it's like the better striker doesn't always win in an MMA fight. So it's like a lot of the time it's like an entry 1-2 or you know 2 or 3 punches, then you're gone, and then someone's shooting for a takedown or clinching. So there's not really many combinations in MMA. It's like I said, 2 or 3 with a leg kick, or 1 and 2 with a leg kick, or 1, 2 and then a takedown or an entry. So yeah, you're not sitting in the pocket like ducking and diving, robo-dope style like you do in the boxing ring. So it's different, very different.
Was it a difficult transition coming over to
Not
boxing?
for me. A lot of people ask me that because my style was really boxing dominant in MMA. So I kicked and stuff like that. I threw one head kick in my first pro fight, and I slipped over, never did it again. So I'd kick the legs, punch the body and head, and kept it simple. So
nice.
for me to cross over, really funny story is like I thought it was easier to become a boxer because I'm like, I've got less things to worry about, you know. But boxing is harder because you got to be so fucking good at one thing, you know, like you're going up against a guy who's trained the one aspect. Whereas MMA, I could be the best striker, but I could have a mad wrestler like from Kazakhstan just take me down and hold me on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I thought, this is going to be easier. You know, the training load is probably a little bit nicer. Like on your body, you're not getting twisted around and stuff like that. Head trauma more because you're just getting punched in the head and the body. But like injury-wise through a training camp, you can get through more easy or more comfortable in a boxing training camp, I feel. You know, whereas at MMA, a lot of people don't make the fight because they've been taken down and they put their arm out and jarred their shoulder or something crazy like that. So boxing training load, it was sort of an easier transition for me, you know. Whereas the other way around, some people have done boxing to MMA or MMA to boxing to MMA, and they've never succeeded at it. You know, Conor McGregor going over to boxing ring couldn't fucking knock the cinnamon off a donut against a boxer sort of thing. So,
but yeah, business first.
That's it. Yeah.
Before, you know,
that's
business
right.
first,
That's
talent
right.
second. It's
That's
just,
right.
It's the industry now.
Yeah.
Look at Jake Paul and all of them.
Yeah, fuck
thing.
me.
You know what I mean?
Fucking
So
hell.
if you can do that, and you're on that wavelength too of just like selling yourself, it's got to be done.
Yeah, for sure,
Like,
man.
I don't want to bring up names, but I've seen amazing talent where they're a bit shy in front of the mic.
Yeah, and they don't get a lick. You know, they don't get their go. So, same. I've seen heaps of it too. Like, really good talent doesn't get a go because they don't talk.
Yeah.
Or
Nah, awesome,
can't
bro.
talk.
Man, so crazy. I've taken some photos of your Instagram too, which I want to just bring it up and talk about. So this one first.
Yeah.
What's the story with this? 'Cause that's pretty
That
hardcore.
was the fucking coolest thing. Like, I probably put too much in it. Man, that whole fight, the Giraffe thing, I thought I had a handle on.
It was a big press conference,
my
all of it,
emotions and stuff like that. I was way too emotional for that fight. You know, the cunt called me a racist in front of everyone. I've got my partner's of colour, you know. My best mate's Samoan, half Indian, Samoan, fucking as if. And he called me that in front of every cunt, you know. So, hey, tell everyone here why I'm a racist. And I don't know, he couldn't fucking say anything. And I was so wild. And I grabbed him, and there was a bit of a punch on. Man, that was a fucking shit show because we were in a room probably as big as this. We were up here, and then the whole crowd was Giraffe's fans. No one was there for me. And it was on this piece of shit underground platform like Sam LeBruner's, they're not even cool anymore, Sam LeBruner and Giraffe. He did the dirty on LeBruner, but it was his promotion. So the place was filled with his shit. Me and my coach were there, and then a manager guy who was a pussy, and he wasn't going to throw any punches. And that happened, and fucking Blair said, let's get out of here. And on the way out, a guy stepped in front of Blair to stop us, and Blair punched he spat on Blair, actually, so Blair defended himself. And there was a big set of stairs, and I ran down the stairs, and Blair got kicked in the back down the stairs. Like, it was a fucking shit show. Man. So even at that fight, man, it was fucking wild. I've never been in a venue like that. Like, I feel like kids have got a really good feeling of like things don't feel right.
Yeah.
You know,
intuition.
Intuition and stuff like that. And Blair's son was out the back, and so this was this.
Like
he only said it after. This was weird, Dad. Like, I didn't feel safe and stuff like that. And I had like people in my room, soft boxing guys who were awesome. They were there to like Elijah messaged me, said, do you want us to come and, look at it? And he's a good guy. He's friends with Jerry. I said, yeah, come and beef up my team a little bit. Because it was me and Blair and two other my teammates against a whole fucking stadium of Giraffe supporters. And, yep, that was sweet. That made me feel safe, and that was good. And then they were in the back room, and then these other guys snuck in, and they were like, man, they look like white supremacist guys, like, and they're like, mate, we got the heat if we need it, if this goes pairs up, balls up. I'm like, holy fucking hell, this guy's just showed me his thing. And then these
what a circus.
like island fellas, like the Suff boys, looked like they were gonna punch on with these white supremacist looking dudes. It was fucking shit show. And then as I walked out, I said to Blair, I'm going to walk up to this cunt and punch his head in. And that's essentially exactly what I tried to do. And I was trying to punch him too hard to look slow and sloppy. And he chinned me. So he put one on my chin. Peach of a shot. I didn't see it coming.
It happens, man.
It happens, but I was just too emotional. I know, like, that's one thing
yeah.
that sits okay with me. Is like, he didn't beat me. Like, if I went 12 rounds with him and he just edged me because he was too skillful or out-toughed me or anything, that would be hard. That's a different story.
Yep.
But I did myself a disservice, and I was too emotional, and I can live with that because I didn't get to show. It's annoying. It's a hard pill to swallow because I didn't get to showcase my my skills, and felt like I was so close to changing the narrative.
Before it even started.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like I was so close to changing the narrative, being this MMA fighter, just one punch power, to be able to showcase my skills in box. And then I go out and try and one punch power this guy. And I got done. So it was a bit hard in that regard. But, yeah, man, like, I'll put myself in the position one day to get that cunt back, and I'll do it for everyone because he's a fucking vermin, that bloke. He is. And I'll say it right now, he's a shit bloke, man. Like, he tried to press charges. He wanted to press charges on Blair. Of all people, when we were there by ourselves, he gets spat on and assaulted, and he's there saying, because he went to that No Limit fight night, here when Liam fought in Brisbane or whatever.
Yeah.
I was around when I was going to fight. It was like 2 weeks before I was fighting Bo Hardis, or a week before.
Okay, yeah.
And then Blair got a phone call, the police station. Come in, please. You got to question him because there's been charges. Yeah. What the fuck? He's just a piece of shit. I think so anyway. Love him. Fucking.
I didn't expect all of that from this photo, but
yeah, that was like the whole idea behind that was like I was going to kill him. The purge,
Yeah.
The purge, the signs go on for 12 hours, you can murder, whatever, you don't get in trouble.
This was your moment to like...
This was my fucking... I was so fucking sick, walk out, and the song, Blair's the DJ, so he did the horses, and then he did the siren into the purge. So then when the siren signing of the alarm, you can kill, and then that was the whole idea, and then I got fucking done. So don't show me that photo.
Wow. Well, thanks for that story, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy. This photo I thought was pretty cool. You always do this in the weigh-ins.
Yeah,
What's story with that? Just
I'll credit Adrian Pang for that stance. That's like he did that in a like old mate got in his face, and they were button heads, and then he put his hands up over him like, oh, I fucking got you. And you can't do that back to me because I've already done it first to you. So that's like the ultimate standoff, like face-off position. I've got my hands up over you. This is what you'll be seeing when I put you down. Oof. And I try to do it every time I put someone down, hands go up straight away, like, look at me, cunt. I'm over the top of you winning.
Wow.
And I showed you that 24 hours beforehand.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Deep. Far out, bro. This one, Caleb Plant.
Massive experience.
How did this trip come about? Las Vegas, you're sparring Caleb Plant, one of the best in the world, for Canelo. How did you get there?
Man, I was just there. We went there, and Blair was really worried about going on that trip because like, fuck, we're just winging it. Sort of, we pulled up at the gym. Who's the Kiwi bloke?
Heavyweight?
No, Kevin Barry.
Oh, okay.
So he was gym there through Steve Scanlon back in the day. I had a connection with him. We went there. It wasn't our fit. So we left. We're like, fuck. And then we went to a gym called Split T Boxing. There's a Canadian bloke called Eric there. Okay. Walked in there. Glenn Jennings actually set it up for us because Tim was there.
Nice.
And Blair was like, Glenn, where could we go? Because we didn't fit in with Kevin Barry, which wasn't right fit for me and Blair. And he said, I'll go to this gym. I'll let him know you're coming. Went there. Bang. Next minute, we're at Top Rank. Walked into Top Rank and... They said, oh, how heavy? I said, oh, this heavy. They're like, good, you can spar with Shane Mosley Jr. Put on a mad fucking performance. And then Blair's phone was ringing hot. Like, they were saying, oh, can you come down here, DLX, get some rounds in? It was fucking awesome, man. Ever since that sparring with Shane, like, it was cool because like I got it. There's 2 rings running there at Top Rank, and there's like referees running. It's pretty cool, like old heads, you know, in refereeing the sparring, and they're like, "Oh, you got."
And they monitored the sparring.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he walked in and he said, "You got 4 rounds, with Shane?" I said, "Nah, I'll be doing 8." And they're like, "No, all right, whatever." Like they thought I was, you know, we get that, you know. Aussies just tough and we're going to get our head punched in. I said, no, I'll be doing 8. All right, young fella, see how you go. Did the 8 and I got probably, I hate talking about sparring, but I did good, you know, and like with those 2 rings running, by the end of it, everyone was around our ring watching this punch on, and Shane was right with it. Can you come to our gym? Like, yeah, sweet. And then, Blair, we got at DLX with Caleb Plant. We did 10 with him. And they instantly, straight after, they're like, can you come back on Wednesday? That was on a Monday. We were leaving on the Wednesday.
And Caleb asked you
yeah,
more
straight
rounds?
away his coach, Breadman, was like, can you just come back on Wednesday? Because they spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday there. Can you come back straight away? Like, oh, fuck, we're leaving on Wednesday. So, like when you get asked back straight away, you know it's good work. You're not getting your ass back if you're just punching the fuck out of someone. So it was great work, man. Really good experience. Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Did you feel the experience, like the veteran kind of slick moves?
Yeah, it was good, man. Fast, really good left hand, like educated left hand jab, left hook rip, really good left hand. And it was awesome, man. Massive eye opener for me, and just a good reminder that I'm there. Like,
it shows where you are.
Yeah, it was a good measuring stick, and that's what the whole trip was. It was like a measuring stick. If I was to go there and got my head punched in by every person I stood in the ring, it'd be like, fuck, you know, I'm not where I thought I was. But it wasn't like that at all. And even for Blair too, as a coach, like, we've got a really diligent strength and conditioning plan and running session, and like he's in these gyms sort of like watching. He, you know, doesn't speak much, but he watches a lot and listens a lot, and he's like, fuck, our system is good. Like, it was a good reminder for him too. Like, I'm up there with these guys, you know, even exceeding their stuff, because we didn't see one person hit the pads while we were there. It's just bag work and sparring.
Yep.
You know, we're hitting pads, doing a specific strength program, specific sprint program in different phases. And it was just good for us. It sort of fucked me in a little bit coming back to fight wrong, because I thought I was boxing with these guys and thought, I can do this and that.
Yep.
And it sort of fucked that fight for me, because I should have just got on the gas like I normally do. Stay in your face, but like a bit more pressure. And there's a few times I let Rowan off, you know. So I thought I was doing well over there, which I was, but it sort of fucked me a little bit in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what the next one was Shane.
Shane, that was the first time in the gym. It was fucking awesome. And then
So the son of a, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yeah.
He fought Mayweather, and everyone knows who he is. He wasn't in the gym?
Shane was, nice. He was sparring with Fernando Vargas, is one of his sons, which is wild, because they fought each other. Shane Mosley and Fernando Vargas, they fought, and then Shane Senior is sparring with his youngest son. Like, it was a fucking spin out. Really cool dude. Gave me a massive rap after, invited us straight over to their gym. I can't remember his coach's name, little fella. But it was cool, man. He's a cool dude. I still speak to him now. Like,
cool.
I'm probably going to head back soon, hopefully, and we'll go to his gym. And he's a cool dude. He's probably the best bloke I met over there.
Awesome.
Real easygoing dude, fun, you know.
No ego.
No ego. He's like Caleb. He was a bit arrogant. He didn't maybe because I'm a fan, and I'm like, fuck, this is Caleb Plant. He didn't fucking want to talk to me. Whereas sort of gave me left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Like, oh, you're a fucking prick. But I appreciate it as well, because he didn't want to talk to the person he was about to spar. So
Of course. It's like that, eh? Yeah. It's hard being friends with people you're punching on with.
Yeah,
man.
that's right. Yeah, because I was just in awe. Like, you know, that's like one of the biggest guys. He was about to fight Canelo. I'm get to spar with him. I wanted to ask him questions and stuff, but he wasn't about that. He didn't want, which I can also appreciate too. So I had to check myself there and be like, he's doing his job. And I get it too when people come to my gym. You know, I used to not talk to him, and then it come to a point where I was like chatting to him before. You know, now I've gone back to go sit myself outside before it's time to go, and then jump in the ring, do the business, and then be friends after.
Yeah, wow. So they were impressed, Shane Mosley and his old man. So do you think you'll go back?
For sure, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%. Blair's got Breadman's number, and Frank that runs Top Rank as well, along with Eric. That was I spoke to Liam as well, like when we were going down for media days to Sydney and stuff, and asked him about his experience, and he had yes and no experience with it, whereas mine was just fucking unbelievable. I couldn't have asked for more out of my experience. It was really good just to be able to spend the 3 weeks with Blair as well, just being immersed in boxing. Nice. He loved, because I was up at 76 too, I could be a little bit more loose with my diet, comfortability wasn't ideal, but it was cool at the time because Blair was cooking fucking tacos and shit. It was just mad. Like 3 weeks
Good
with my
trip for you
coach.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Brought us
still a
closer.
work trip,
Still a work trip, yeah. We're doing the business. I was scared every time I went to the gym because I didn't know who I was sparring.
Yeah.
You just turn up, fuck, who am I sparring? Bang, this guy. Bang, this Russian, 18 nose, fucking light heavyweight. Bang, this guy. So, but it was cool, man. I got everything I wanted out of that trip. So, it was really cool.
Awesome, bro. This photo.
Yeah, that's cool. Best day of my life.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
Wedding.
fuck.
What? How long ago was the wedding?
It was 4th of May, 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this year.
22 last year.
Oh yeah, we went
Yeah.
23.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, 22
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Fucking hell. Jiv's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, special, and that was a special moment for you too. Having
Yeah,
Blair.
man. Like, that's what I said. Like, I asked Blair to be my best man after I beat Robert Berridge, and he said, of course. Like, man, it just makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
he walks into battle with me every time. That's why I probably get emotional. But, like, Blair's means so much to me. So, it was only fitting to ask him to be my best man. And, yeah, it was,
Wow.
man. It was cool.
Special relationship.
Yeah, really
because
special.
He knows what you're going through.
Yeah.
He's protecting you too. You know,
Absolutely.
so-
He has my best interest at heart. And that's one thing, like, I don't feel like another fighter coach has the relationship I have. I might be wrong, but I honestly feel like no one has what I have with my coach. And he's not my dad, but, like, he's just about, like, he's
Yeah.
close to. We have a very special relationship, but we have also the relationship where if he was my dad, he'd be soft on me or whatever. But if I'm a fuckwit, he'll pull me up straight away, you know. And we've had issues, like, where he's like, we'll check in and, mate, you're doing X, Y, and Z. Let's pull it back, pull your socks up, sort of thing. So it's good, man. It's one of the best. I couldn't be happier,
nice.
you know.
I can
Along
see-
behind Jiv, he's the
Nice,
next most
yeah.
important person in my
I
life.
can see how much it means to you.
Yeah.
And so myself also, when I moved to Australia age 15 from
Yeah.
New Zealand, and but I was doing martial arts, so I'm in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I've never met my father. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never met him. So I've got a whole family that I've never met. You know,
Wow,
so
wow.
it's just been me and mum my whole life. You know.
Wow.
But it's
Wow,
never
I
really,
never knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not too many people would.
Yeah.
I never talk about
Talk
it. You know.
about it, yeah.
So it's been me and mum, and I've got a half brother, half sister, a
Yeah.
stepdad.
Yeah.
Stepdad is my dad, but
Yeah.
he's back in New Zealand now, and but you know, rough childhood. No need to really get
Yeah.
into it, but martial arts was my escape.
Yeah,
That was me
yeah.
getting away from those bad times. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? And being in the dojo was like, yeah, this is it. This is
Yeah,
where I'm meant to be.
yeah. Safe zone.
Yeah, safe
Yeah.
zone, and that's why I'm so pulled towards Bruce Lee because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
my first.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first watched his movies, like, man, I need to be like this dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah. I grew up on karate movies too, man. Yeah.
It energized me.
Yeah, cool.
You know, and then so that's how I found the dojo. But my sensei was that figure for me.
Yeah.
You know,
it's important for a young man too.
Yep.
Like,
And that was I would have been in that dojo age 13 to
Yeah,
15.
yeah.
And that, you know, development years
yeah,
as a
for
young
sure.
boy.
And you're very, like, influenced by the people that are around you. It's very important. Yeah, for sure.
And
man.
I was in the dojo instead of on the streets.
Yeah.
And he kept me. It was I can't really describe. It's probably the same thing as
Yeah,
you
yeah.
describe the relationship or his
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah, the
I
impact
can't
is
express the impact, but my respect and my return to him.
Yeah.
And even though it was many, many years ago, that's still a part of my life that is
Yeah,
so
that's cool,
important.
man.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's cool. That's
So
cool.
yeah, it's very special.
Yeah, it is special, man. It's I couldn't be more thankful for that man. It's
Nice.
something.
Nice. I think this is the last photo. Where we at?
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
that's a fucking awesome photo. Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow.
That was taken by Blair's wife. She's
okay.
she tampers a little bit with the photography, and I didn't want to pay someone to do fucking baby photos, so we did it at home, and
Nice,
she got a
nice.
good shot there. So
Beautiful.
yeah, shit haircut, but I got a fucking shit haircut, and I'm blaming David Chan for that because that's when he just first got on the Clippers and gave me a fucking hard line, not a fade. That's terrible, but anyway.
And I think for all of us that see this, we just see the beauty of
Yeah.
what's between you guys. So, what a
Yeah.
life that you have.
Man, I'm fucking blessed. Like, I couldn't, take boxing away, take everything away from me right now and leave me with my two girls and Blair. Fuck, hope Blair's there. And I'm happy. Like, you put me on the street with those people in my life and I'm sweet. You know, friends will come and go. Gyms will come and go and stuff like that, but keep me those three and then I'm sweet as a
Nice,
nut, man. Life's good.
Awesome,
you know.
bro. And look, you know, we've had a good chat. I really appreciate you coming in. Is there anything coming up?
Man,
Not
there
too
could
sure.
be.
Could
See
be, yeah.
that pose patiently waiting. So,
Yep. You're in the gym.
Fuck yeah, I'm in the gym. Well, I was meant to be fighting 15th of October.
Okay.
Another fucking story. Joel Camilleri, you fucking pussy. And Camel Toe Leary, he will meant to fight, you know, after all these years. Like, man, as if you wouldn't. Like, fucking biggest fight going around. The card's stacked. Would have had a good spot. Would have been the top 3 last fights, being back to the States.
October 15, Tim Zhu.
Tim Zhu, yeah. Like, I just checked the card out. Like, Showtime, man, Cheeky May's fighting Jackson, England.
Nice.
Like, fuck, Chanel Dargan's on it. Man, it's a sick
Liam's
card.
on that?
Liam
Wilson.
I'm not too sure. He could
not
be.
sure.
I'm not too sure, but it's a cracker
It's a
card.
huge card.
And we were locked in with Camilleri for fucking, Joe was saying, 5 weeks, you know, and then he was in Thailand living the life of a fighter. Fuck off. He was getting rub and tugs from the lady boys. And he comes back and then soils himself. You know, his ass fell out of him and he forgot he had a fucking pair of man eggs, you know. You know, he forgot. They shriveled up inside of him and he said, no. The money's not right. Fuck off. The money's never right in Australia in
Take
this
the
sport.
opportunity.
The money's never right in this sport. I wish I was getting fucking 50 grand a fight too, but we ain't in this country unless your name's Zoo. You know, they're getting good money, but we ain't. Until you prove yourself and then beat me, have the in front of the American TV and then go on to bigger and better things, but he's not man enough. He doesn't have a backbone, so that got canned. So I was halfway through a fight camp when that piece of shit said no. And I'm telling you right now on this podcast, if the money was right tomorrow, I will not fight him just because of fucking just principle.
Yep.
Yeah, principle. He ain't never getting a chance at me again because I don't need Camilleri's on my record. Like, I don't need him to make my career what it is. He needs a fight like me. You know, he's washed. He's on the way out. Fucking world champion. He'd never be one. Like, he's on the way out. And sorry, but he's on the way out. He needs a fight like me to spark his career back up, but he soiled himself, so that'll never happen.
Bro, I appreciate you.
Definitely, and that's honest. That's me being honest. You know, that was meant to be the fight. Would have been sick, but and a tough fight. Like, you know,
everyone
credit
would've
where
tuned
it's
into
due.
that.
Like, Joel's a tough customer. He's an awkward operator. He makes good people look not that good. Like, Tim Zhu took him the distance. He's never been dropped, never been stopped. He's an awkward character and he knows how to survive. You know, but he's a pussy. So fuck him. He ain't ever getting the chance again. So, definitely still in the gym. Hopefully another fight, mid-November, something around there. So fingers crossed because I want a good Christmas. I want to eat some king Alaskan crab and get paid to pay for that shit, you know?
Bro, I love it. Look, you're a larger-than-life character, Hardman, and I'm excited to see where your career goes, bro.
Yep.
So thank you for blessing the podcast with your presence.
Thanks for having me.
Maybe we'll do this again later on.
I can know. Yep.